have our image here. We have actually 4 layers. You have this texture layer, you have the smoke, you have the ocean, and the background of the clock. What we need to do is make a clipping mask for the ocean rock, so it shows inside this part here. So I'm going to use this image to create an elliptical selection. So I get my elliptical tool, start clicking from the center about, hold on my shift key to get a perfect circle, then add in the option or the alt key to make it start growing from the outside, from the inside center. It's close enough, and then I'm going to use my arrow tools to kind of center it more like that. There we go. Now that I have a selection, I'm going to turn on the ocean rocks here. Turn on the ocean rocks, select the ocean rocks, and create a clipping mask. Boom. So now that's clipping it. It's a little harsh, so I'm going to select the clipping mask, and see this edge is a little harsh, so I'm going to feather that a bit or a lot. It's up to you. So feather it. And then, so that one's good. And now what we want to do is kind of blend it in to here, right? So blend modes, take this guy, you can try different ones. Try different ones. I like darken. And then we want to be able to move the photo but not the mask, so I'm going to unlink the mask and the photo. So click that little icon there. Now select the photo, type V for the move tool, and then move this thing around to where I really want it without moving the mask. So something like that. Okay, good. That's good. Now let's add an adjustment curve to this. So select this layer. It's a little bright, in other words. So let's add a curves. So there's the curves, and we want to adjust it a little bit darker on the top, and we want it to apply only to the rocks but not to the clock itself. So you can actually use this one here, this icon, to apply it as a clipping mask. So there it goes. It only applies to the rocks. So in other words, if I change this drastically, only the rocks are changing but not the clock. So adjust this to what you think looks good. There you go. Something like that. Okay, good. Now let's add in the smoke. The smoke looks like this, white and black, which is really useful for blending. So let's take that smoke and let's blend it using the screen mode. Okay, and what we want to do is make it look like it's coming out of the rocks, but then the clock hands are in front of the smoke, so the smoke is behind the clock hands. So we do a couple of tricks there. So first let's move it into place like so. So we want it behind this rock. So how do we make it go behind that rock? Well, we need to select that rock there. So let's select this. Let's turn that off. Turn this off. Select the ocean rocks. Select the ocean rocks layer. Get our quick selection tool, which is this. Oh, sorry, that one there, and quickly select those rocks. Okay, with that layer, with those selections, now we're going to go to the smoke layer, turn these back on, select the smoke layer, and we're going to create a mask. So if you just click on this, it only takes this part. So we want the opposite of that. So undo, hold down your option key or alt key, and then click on the clipping mask. There we go. So now the smoke is behind the rocks. And if we unlink these two and select the smoke, not the mask, select the smoke. Now if we get our move tool, V, we can actually move the smoke wherever we want behind the rocks. So something like maybe like this. Now I don't want this smoke down here, so I'm going to select my mask right there, get the brush tool, and paint with black. and add in some black to get rid of that. Okay, so there we go. So now it looks good. Now we want the clock hands to be above the mask, I mean above the smoke. So that's a really quick one. So let's select our background layer, turn these off. Select our background layer and do a quick lasso tool, this lasso tool here, and we're just going to quickly grab this stuff just here. So we have that selection, turn everything back on, go back to the smoke layer, go back to the smoke layer, and well, actually not the smoke layer, my bad. We're going to take the background layer, with all that stuff selected. We're going to go Command J, and what that does is if you hold on your Option key and click on the eyeball for that layer, it made a selection of just that stuff. Okay, so hold on Option key, click on that eyeball, and now we're going to put this above here, and we're going to blend that into this layer, this smoke layer, with, let's try darken. Yeah, darken. So now it looks like if you turn that on and off, the hands are in front of the smoke. And if you move the smoke, oh, sorry. If you move the smoke, it's actually behind those hands too. So there we go. Okay, now that we got that, now let's add in the texture. So the texture is this layer. We want to put some texture on there. So we're going to blend it in. How about soft light? I don't want the texture on this outside the clock. So like I don't want it here and here. I just want it on this from here in. So I need to make a clipping mask. I can just use this already. It already has a circle. So I'll select that, go to the properties panel, and turn on this icon. It gets me the selection. So there I have a selection of a circle again. Go to the texture layer and create a clipping mask. Boom. So now the mask is in here, but I want to make it a little bigger so it fits on the outside here. So I select that and go Command T, selection tool. Now if I just drag, it kind of does it unproportionally. And so if you hold on your Alt or Option key, it'll distort it or make it bigger from the center. So there you go. Something like that. Hit enter to accept that. Then I want the inside of the clock to be less textured. So mainly the texturing is out here. So I'm going to select that, get my brush tool, make sure I got black because I want to hide all this stuff, and not so strong, and just paint out this stuff. Okay, something like that. Okay, so the concepts, using curves again, elliptical selections, copying selections, moving them to the others, layering the hands, the clock hands are on top, so being able to layer that using a selection, and then Command J-ing that selection and moving it on top here, and then blending that in. There you go. Now let's put our name on it, like we usually do. And change the color. There you go. Please take a screenshot of it, and so that you have all your layers, and take a screenshot so I can see what you've done. Thank you very much.